Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut, and joining me for this show is Raman Suri, Atreo, and Bharat Ramraj. Lots to talk about today. Shardul Thakur has just given out incredible performance in the Ranji Trophy. But what our main topic of discussion is obviously Rishabh Pant or KL Rahul, who is going to make it to the 11 when we talk about the next ODI and, of course, the Champions Trophy as well. Right now, the debate is up in the air, but let's talk through it. Atro is joining us from the Eden Gardens where the Mumbai versus Haryana game is happening. Atro, give us some updates about that before we dive into the discussion.
Well, the day has gone well for Bombay so far. Haryana resumed the day at 263 for 5, and Bombay bowled them out for 301. So they took a lead of first innings lead of 14 runs, and at lunch Bombay is 52 for 2. And the performer of the day has been Shardul Thakur, who took all the five remaining Haryana wickets to finish with six wickets for 58 runs.
Absolutely. But let's dive right into the conversation that we're about to have. KL Rahul versus Rishabh Pant. Who will India pick as its main wicket-keeper batter? Atreyu, when you're looking at these two batters, you're looking at a lot of versatility. You're looking at a little bit more X factor in Rishabh Pant, but at the same time, KL Rahul has been one of your best batters in ODI. Now, will you be looking at wicket keeping? I think that would be secondary when it comes to Indian management. But do you think there's a clear cut answer when you're thinking about who is better between Rishabh Pant and KL Rahul?
Well, difficult to say who is better, but given the way team management has gone about it in this ODI series against England, where Rahul played both games ahead of Pant, it looks as if Rahul is the first choice keeper batter going ahead or in the immediate future, which is the Champions Trophy. I think the reason for this is Rahul can play both types of games. He can play the holding game. I mean, if there are three, four wickets fall, he can play the holding game, and he can also cut loose towards the end. So he has both gears. While Pant is seen more of a batter who plays the aggressive kind of cricket. With Pant, we don't associate that holding game. I think probably for that reason, the team management is going with Rahul at the moment.
But I think that's a good point Atreo brings up there. When you're looking at ODIs, if you're looking for a batter who's going to anchor the innings and the other batters can play around him aggressively, then maybe a KL Rahul can be considered. But what would be, your criterias for picking one between Pant or Rahul?
Yeah, more than my criteria, it is important what the management thinks. I have a gut feel that this management likes left and right hand combination. So that is why they tried SSV Jaiswal. Gautam Gambhir is pretty big on this. He keeps sending Aksar Patel for a reason because again of this left hand right hand combination. As soon as a leggy comes in, he sends Aksar Patel in. So looking at that, I have got feeling that Rishabh Pant at some point, maybe if not in third match, maybe in the third match only. But at some point, Champions Trophy, if KL Rahul doesn't score for in a couple of games, Rishabh Pant may come into the equation because Gambhir is big on it. See, as far as KL Rahul is concerned, as we already talked, he's someone who can play different types of games. The only thing I guess yesterday also I discussed that against KL Rahul is sometimes he gets a little too intense. That's what it feels. Even while covering a few games, when I look at him after he gets beaten, he goes towards a square leg umpire, talks to himself for a couple of minutes. But yeah, intensity is fine, but sometimes he perhaps it gets a little too intense. That's maybe he thinks too much. It happened in the World Cup final as well. I think that's what happened with KL Rahul in the 2023 World Cup final. He thought too much about the situation of the game, like whether I should try to attack, whether I should try to defend. Mitchell Stark spell is there, that bowler spell is there, this bowler spell is there. Eventually got out to Mitchell Stark only, reverse swing just when was about to maybe change gears. So when you think too much, basically this is what happens. So that is one thing I have against KL Rahul. So if maybe someone like KL Rahul fails in a couple more games, maybe one would look at Rishabh Pant because he brings something different.
Naman, similar question to you. Who do you think will make it? Are there any predictions from your side?
I believe that Rahul is going to keep his place given how Gambhir has been elevating Aksar up the order. In front of Rahul, because he has been doing a splendid job, Aksar Patel, and I think that makes getting Pant in redundant because Rahul brings that calmness, as Atreo sir said, that he has that ability to switch up gears whenever he wants. So if the situation calls for like 10 for 3 early on in the innings for India, KL Rahul might be someone that India want to rely on. And Pant, on the other hand, is seen as more of a counter-attacking batter. And given that Aksa has been doing that job particularly well in the last two ODIs, I believe KL Rahul might get the nod and keep the position despite not performing particularly well in the last two ODIs.
And we'll get back to that conversation, but a lot of comments in our chat about BCCI being the richest board yet shameful infrastructure. What happened in Cuttack yesterday with the floodlights? We have spoken about it, but Atreo, on a global stage, in a global bilateral series, it does not reflect well. It might not be exactly BCCI's fault. It is the state association's responsibility, but at the same time, not a good show from Cuttack.
A professionally run body. Odisha Cricket Association (OCA) is an affiliate of the BCCI, and it's a professionally run body. So when they are hosting an event, a match of this scale, it has to be 100%. Arrangements have to be 100%. There is no two ways about it, and it shows. It doesn't show anybody in good light because. When these things happen, it's not that Cuttack is the first place where this has happened. We have seen this happen in other places also in different sports. But these days, 2025, and when people do not make adequate arrangements and let these things happen, it doesn't reflect well on anybody. It's not a question of BCCI being a very rich body. Yes, it is. But even if you're organizing a local tournament, we have seen local tournaments being played in the streets, in the grounds. These days, a lot of people play under lights. So even in those tournaments, these things are taken care of. So at an event of such scale, such magnitude, such slip-ups are not acceptable.
Bharat, Michael Bispin saying I'm sure that's a fake account, but Cuttack should be banned from hosting matches. 35 minutes delay in an international match due to floodlights is unheard of.
Yeah, is it question to me? Just asking.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I can say like that because see, this is from the other side that Katak has got an ODI after maybe 6 years. So uh, you are basically depriving those fans in tier two, tier three cities from watching matches. So better to look at from the other perspective, that is, take action against those officials, whoever it is that you feel was it wrong. I think that's the better way to look at it. BCC has to maybe look at it more seriously, have a sort of inquiry, try to find out where it went wrong. If there was someone was it wrong, then perhaps take action against that person. To ban matches at a particular stadium, as I said, you are depriving those fans from watching those matches because, as we saw, the fans were very passionate at Gatak. That's what our reporter also said, that the fans were extremely passionate. They really wanted to watch their heroes, Kohli and Rohit Sharma. So you're basically depriving those poor fans. So you can't say ban matches in at that particular stadium. Just have an inquiry, see who is at wrong. If someone is actually at wrong, then perhaps take action against that person and try to rectify it.
An interesting question here raised by Rohit Kumar. There is no point playing Rahul at six. He looks out of place. If Rahul has to play, number five is best. I think I was seeing similar numbers yesterday as well, statistics that were popped up by the official broadcasters, and they were showing his statistics, his numbers at different positions, and the best were obviously at number four and five. Naman, what are your thoughts on this?
Yes, he has been doing. I mean, he has been the best on that in that position, number four, number five, when he comes and faces the spinners and I mean the pacers in together. But KL Rahul has been one of the top performers for India, and since the team is based on the World 2023 World Cup, he performed brilliantly well in that position. And now Gambhir, as everyone knows, has been preferring the right hand combination, and he wants to elevate Akshar up the order. And to be fair, Akshar has delivered, uh, however he can, and he has been delivering it. So yes, it's hard on KL Rahul, who is a very top batter for India and would require some balls in the middle to be able to get back to his best in the white ball format. But it's the team's call, it's the management's call how they think that that balances the side and helps them better win the game. So definitely hard on Rahul. He plays best at number four, number five, as you said. But in the end, Gambhir is preferring that left hand right hand combination to put it. I mean, make it difficult for the bowlers to adjust their line and length.
Another comment here from Quick Info that I'd like to direct towards Athreya and Bharat both. He's saying nothing against KL Rahul. He is a fantastic player. I'll tell you the biggest difference between KL and Pant is that KL has never and never will win you games when the top order fails. Do you two agree with this statement that KL Rahul is not a match winner? Athreya first.
More than agree or disagree, I understand what this gentleman is trying to say. I mean, he is trying to say that Rahul is not your so-called impact player. He doesn't. He's not a match winner on his own. That's what he's trying to say. Yeah, I see some merit in that argument. But at the moment, when the team management has decided that this is the way ahead, at least till the Champions Trophy, I don't see any reason to deviate from that. I think it's an important question where Rahul bats. Is it five? Should it be five or should it be six? I personally prefer five for him because six is too low for him, and anyway, that's what the team management has opted for in the last two games. But whether Rahul, see, it's not about the ability to win matches single-handedly. It's a team game, so there are sometimes we do get outstanding performances from individuals, but a team cannot rely on that. So as long as Rahul contributes to the team's cause, without winning matches single-handedly, I think that is what the team looks for. That is what the team wants. So whether he can score a 40 ball 60, he has done that. I mean, he can score with a strike rate of 140, 150. He has done that multiple times. So I don't see a lot of merit in the argument that his slow batting will lose you matches. Yes, World Cup final 2023, that it happened, and but it was more of an exception than the law in general, than the trend in general. So I think Rahul is what the team management has invested in, and there is no reason why they should change that plan.
Bharat, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I guess it depends on the situation of the game. For example, in the 2023 World Cup game against Australia, Australia had made only 200 odd runs and India had lost three quick wickets. That is when KL Rahul basically played a game-breaking innings. I know Virat Kohli also played an important innings, but KL Rahul's knock also was important. So basically, India were chasing at what, 4 runs per over, just over 4 runs per over. That is what suits KL Rahul in one-day cricket. Maybe when he has to play with a sense of adventurism or a bravado, that is when KL Rahul is not exactly at his best. And again, I go back to that old theory that I hold against KL Rahul. Sometimes it perhaps thinks too much about the game. Talked about the 2023 World Cup final. Thinking like which bowler I would attack, which bowler I shouldn't attack. If Stark is going to bowl a spell of reverse swing, I guess it thinks a little too much about the situation of the game or about the kind of bowlers that he needs to attack, and eventually he doesn't do either of it. So maybe he has to play a little more with freedom, but that is something one has been saying for a long time. The kind of KL Rahul that one saw in the Dulip Trophy in 2014. when he attacked central zone on a green wicket and scored hundreds in both innings in that Ranji in the Dulip Trophy game. That is the kind of KL Rahul one would like to see. I'm not saying try to slog across the line or on those lines, but trying to play with more of an attacking intent, because it suits him. It suits his game reasonably well. Because if he just tries to defend, then the bowlers will get into a nice rhythm, which happened in Australia as well. Yes, he contributed in a couple of test matches, but afterwards, what did the Australian bowlers do? They started bowling much tighter, closer to top of off, and he started edging despite playing inside the line of the ball. So this thing's telling me maybe he needs to be a little more attacking. He has that attacking game, but maybe he gets too intense things too much. So yeah, it depends on the currently it depends on the situation of the game. If India are chasing around 4 runs per over, they lose 3 wickets for just 20, 30 runs, then you back KL Rahul to get it done. But if India are say, chasing 280, 300, India lose 3 wickets for 50 runs, then I'm not backing him. Play counter attacking innings, and steer India home.
Achu, going to you now. Let's for the last 5-10 minutes on the show, let's talk about Shardul Thakur. It says in our title that this is a good claim for Shardul Thakur when it comes to the England series. He's been phenomenal with the bat as well as with the ball as well. He's really, coming back into form and showing us that he does deserve a place in the Indian Test dressing room.
He is making a very strong case for himself. There is no doubt about it. Today, for example, yesterday when Shardul bowled with the new ball, he was a bit disappointing. He had four fielders in the slip and gully region, and still he was for the right-handers, and he was bowling incoming deliveries with four catchers behind the wicket. So he was a bit below par yesterday. And today, from the first over itself, he got it right. I mean, he was again bowling in swingers. He bowled two overs with the old ball, and bowled in swingers again and got a wicket in the first over with the bouncer. After that, new ball became due. He started bowling with the new ball, and from the first ball, for the first time in this match, he started bowling outfielders, and that gave him two wickets in that first over. First ball with the new ball, he took a wicket, got behind. Third ball also took another wicket at the slips. So in fact, if you look at it very closely, he took five wickets today. Two were with outswingers, two were with incoming deliveries, and one with a bouncer. So there was a lot of variety that he showed today in that 7-8 overs that he bowled today. And why he becomes a contender for the England Test series is that India is looking for bowlers who can bat. And that is why you see Nitish Kumar Reddy being tried out in Australia. And sadly for India at the moment, all the bowlers who can bat are spinners. And England, obviously, spinners won't be that effective. So it will help India's cause if they find somebody who can bowl as well as bat. And Shardul is a very good option in that regard. He did well in England in 2021 with the bat and with the ball. He has played Test cricket. He has the experience of playing Test cricket, and he's showing here that there is not much of resistance here from this pitch. He's showing his skills. So he's a very skilled bowler as well. I mean, somebody who can move the ball both ways, use the bouncer effectively, is a very good option. And more so because India are looking for those bowlers who can bat. That opens the door for Shardul, I would say. I mean, there are. I mean, Ranji Trophy is almost over. Quarterfinals going on now. He has made a good case for himself, and he will stand a strong chance when the team for England is picked.
Bharat, do you think Shardul is making a good case for himself? Also, the fact that, when it comes to Test cricket, you have a Hardik Pandya void there. You don't really have, a good all-rounder who's also a pace bowler and can get you breakthroughs and can be reliable with the bat as well.
Yes, with Shardul Thakur, I guess have to go back their centurion test or the Edgbaston test against England or the centurion test against South Africa. One of the reasons perhaps the selectors dropped him was due to lack of fitness. He seemed to have lost a little bit of nip. That is at that time. He was bowling around 125 kilometers per hour. He seemed to have lost a little bit of nip. He had then injuries. He came back, got smashed here in a KSA tournament. He was playing in a KSA first class tournament here against, I guess it was Lavneet Sisodia who absolutely smashed him. Then he again got smacked in the Vijay Hazare Trophy again against the same opponent, Karnataka. But after that, somewhere perhaps he has returned to what can you say is got his rhythm back because he played few games after that injury, so he's now performing. So uh, perhaps he's got that little bit of nip back. So if he's going to about 15 overs, 18 overs, look like picking a couple of wickets, then he will definitely be in contention. So he has to prove to the selectors that he has got that little bit of nip back, which perhaps he has, and then I guess he will get into the scheme of things. Basically, what happened in South Africa, when even one could see it as an outsider as well, one could see it that he was down on pace. He lost that little bit of nip in his bowling. Good to see that he's again performing, and definitely he will be in contention.
Final round of questions, and I'll take some comments from our chat box. Crick info once again. Oh no, this is not the question I wanted to take. This is the one. Musical being. Shami is looking off color, and Harshit, despite taking wickets, has been expensive. How is the pace attack looking ahead of Champions Trophy 25? Naman?
I'm not sure if Shami is looking off color. Yesterday's pitch, every pacer was going at 7 runs per over. So, I mean, if you're talking on basis of that, I don't think Shami has been off color. The only concern I have for Shami is whether he is fit enough to bowl 10 overs, 10 rigorous overs. That is what I'm looking forward to. Till now, he hasn't bowled all of the 10 overs. So, I'm not sure if Shami is looking off color. Regarding Harshit, see, there's a issue that we have on hand is that Bumrah's injury update is. I mean, there's no update on that. We are not clear if Bumrah is going to start from the beginning. So Harshit has been, I believe, been played in regards to that, giving him the opportunity. And to be fair, he has been pretty good in the first ODI. He did well in the second. Again, as I said, the Pacers were going 7 and over. It's not just Indian Pacers, but it was also the English Pacers that have been tonged over. I mean, all over the ground. So uh, he has been banging the ball a lot in the onto the into the pitch, but yeah, he's someone like who needs some time. He'll get better as he gets more experience. But Shami, I don't think he's off color. He just needs to. Just needs to monitor his fitness, and hopefully he can get back to his best as we have seen in the ICC tournaments.
Arthur, actually, what a username. India already got senior baggage in Kohli, and now KL, who struggled to score at a good strike rate. India need power hitters at 5, 6, and 7, and that's why Pant, Hardik, and Aksar need to be in that lineup.
Well, I think we have discussed this earlier in the show. As I said earlier, that yes, Rahul is not your quintessential aggressive batter. He doesn't score 30 ball 60s very often, but the the reason team management is persisting with him is his I think it's his versatility as a batsman. He can bat top of the order. He can play the holding game. He can be the anchor. He can also be the aggressor towards the end of the innings. So I think team management is persisting with him for this reason. Although it's not cast in stone, it doesn't mean that Rahul will play all the games and Pant will never come into the picture. That is not the case. So and that is why Pant is in the squad. So at the moment, Rahul is the first choice. In the first two games against England, he didn't get too many runs. We also have to take care of the fact that he batted number six, at number six, when there was not a lot to do. So, and probably a little bit, it will be a little bit unfair to judge Rahul's batsmanship on the basis of these two knocks. So, I think Rahul will be persisted with, but Pant will remain in the picture. I mean, he is always in the picture. Nobody has said that Pant will not get a look in. I think that's my answer.
Bharat, a lot of people talking about Virat Kohli on why everyone was criticizing Rohit Sharma so much, but there's nothing for Virat Kohli. What do you say to them?
No, see, obviously, when it comes to the his red ball form, one has to be concerned about Virat Kohli's red ball form. It's not like he's getting out in different ways. He's getting out in a similar fashion. Like even against spin bowling, when it came to playing against New Zealand, he got out in a similar fashion. So there has to be scrutiny over his red ball form. But when it comes to white ball cricket, he's obviously one of the best, if not the best, player, ODI batter of all time. So one has to give him some space. He's just played one. Okay, he's played a couple. He played a couple of games in Sri Lanka, where it didn't exactly do well. But over 3 4 games, when it comes to white ball cricket, you can't really go after him. Yes, there are problems. He has found some problems against spin bowling in the recent times in ODI cricket. Adil Rashid has troubled him. Wrist spin, left arm spin. These two categories have troubled him. He seems to struggle to pick the length a little against wrist spinners, especially someone like Adil Rashid again and again has troubled him in limit overs cricket. So there are issues. And if Virat Kohli fails in another 3 4 games, next game in this ODI series, then another 2 3 games in the Champions Trophy, then obviously there will be a lot more scrutiny on Kohli as well. But for the time being, considering the fact that in this format, ODI format, he has been such a legend over a period of time with 50 hundreds and all that. So you have to give him a little bit of space. If he fails in a couple of games, maybe you have to wait a little more to before putting a lot more scrutiny on his batting. But in Test cricket, definitely it's a huge concern because he's been getting out in a similar fashion. He doesn't have too many shots square of the wicket, off the back foot. And even when it comes to the cover drive, he seems to have an issue or two. So in Test cricket, it's a big concern, definitely.
With that, I think we can end the show. We've spoken about Shardul, we've spoken about the debate between Pant and Rahul, and obviously we've interacted with our viewers as well. So that makes it a good show. Thank you so much, Atreo, Bharat, and Naman for joining. We'll be back at 5, so don't forget to join us then. And till then, stay tuned to Rev Sport.